This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets. Workbook Nuggets was written to be a commentary or study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading the book's full commentary on today's workbook lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some impromptu thoughts and comments on today's lesson and my commentary. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 97, April 7, I am Spirit. People of a Christian outlook generally think of themselves as physical bodies that have a spiritual presence or soul within. The view of the Course is radically different. You are spirit, only spirit. What we perceive of as our bodies and personalities are just misperceptions, mistakes of interpretation and of our physical eyes. The Course uses the word, quotes, illusion, to refer to all such perceptions, whether they be bodies, things, or the earth itself. I find it helpful to acknowledge that while illusions, those illusions can be awfully persistent and convincing. Some such illusions, example physicality and death, are shared by virtually everyone on the planet. So the, quotes, illusions need to somehow fit into our day-to-day worldview. I think of them as temporary and relative realities, things which are perfectly, quotes, real in their given frame of reference. A simplified example may be helpful. If you are playing the board game Monopoly and are sent to jail, you are, for all purposes of the game, in jail. Within the framework of the game, you are in jail. Similarly, if you die on earth, you are, for all earthly purposes, no longer there. In the context and framework of earth, your death is very real. The Course is teaching us of a perspective and context far larger than the one we have always called our life and physical reality. From this larger context, we know that we are spirit. We know that we are one. We have stepped away from the Monopoly board. The workbook is instruction in seeing and knowing from this new and larger perspective, from the perspective of spirit. From the perspective of the one self, there are no bodies, fear, or suffering. There is only oneness and peace. There is only love. The title to today's lesson is, I am Spirit. You could also add, that means that I am not what I think I am. I am not just my body and ego. This is easy to say, but it's much harder to truly internalize and believe. And that is what the Course, and specifically the workbook, is all about. It's about helping you to actually feel and thus know that you are much more than what you think you are. Yes, from the perspective of your limited ego, you are a body living in the world. But see from the perspective of your true spiritual self, and you know with absolute certainty that you are also much more. Helping you to identify with your true self so that you can at last see from this higher perspective, to see with the eyes of Christ as the child of God you are, is the central aim of each and every workbook exercise. Wake up from the nightmare of your limited reality. Wake to who and what you are. You are spirit. The real you cannot be limited by your body or ego in any way. And always remember that this is not a selfish exercise. By waking yourself, you help everyone else to wake as well. I can think of no more important or noble a pursuit.